Thor Love and Thunder. It was a bit of a disappointment for me. It jumped the shark with the humour and I didn't enjoy it as much as Ragnarok by a long way. Even if it did give me massive Mighty Boosh vibes throughout.
Who looks foolish now?
You blue book.
It could have been good, with Gorr the God Butcher as the antagonist, played by none other than Patrick Bateman fucking Christian Bale. How would he get on with Taika Waititi mucking about all the time?
Taika's a very bloody original filmmaker. He's mind-blowingly talented.
Oh, good for you, la-di-da-di-da. Unfortunately, while Gorr was pretty hardcore in the movie, he just wasn't as hardcore as his comics character. We're not just talking his strength, but also some of the shit he got up to. It's gnarly. The backstory of Gorr is pretty similar to the movies. He's on an unnamed planet, and it's full of people who just worship God blindly and have no real noses like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They think their prayers will get them some food, or stop the sun being so bloody hot, or just stop everyone dying all the time, which of course they don't. So when Gorr's kid dies and he buries him, some dickhead tells him he needs to display the body for the gods. Are you having an actual laugh, mate? So Gorr finally snaps and says, balls to your gods, they do fuck all for us, and for that he's banished. He then sees a couple of gods having a dust-up. There's a purple god taking on what turns out to be Null, god of shadows who created the symbiotes. Yeah, Venom and Carnage and all that, he's the reason they're around. So the purple god asks Gorr for help as he's losing, and this pushes him over the edge and he flips out so much that the sword that Null was using bonds with him, because symbiotes love doing that. This sword is all black, not that kind, the Necro Sword, and it's super powerful, having been tempered by the power of a celestial. So Gorr kills the gods and he gets a real taste for it and wonders who else he can kill. And so begins the adventures of Gorr the God Butcher. The way this Necro Sword works is that every time he kills a god he gets more power, meaning that after he spends hundreds of years cruising around killing gods, he's fucking tough. He's also really mean, torturing gods, including the actual god of torture, and spending 17 days torturing a young Thor. Blech. This is all part of the Thor God of Thunder run, which features young Thor, current Avenger Thor, and old man King Thor, who's basically Odin, all coming together to take Gorr on. He not only kills gods, but decides to enslave a load of them and make them build a bomb for him to kill all gods throughout times. Look at Volstagg after 500 years slaving away eating worm droppings and scabs. He's ripped now, but also crucified. So what powers does Gorr the God Butcher have in the comics? Well, we've talked before about how Thor is one of the strongest around. In the comics, he can be one of the strongest in the universe. So the fact that when Gorr first meets young stud Thor, he's too fast to see, chops the head off a Pegasus, takes a Mjolnir hit, and then blitzes Thor with his speed before staggering him is impressive. He takes the young boy out so easily that you forget this is Thor we're talking about. The tendrils of the All Black being hardcore. As seen later on when young Thor reappears and the tendrils, which are even stronger now, just ragdoll him up into the ceiling easily. He's really taken out on the young Thor with his tendrils, but makes the mistake of getting all up in his face, only for Thor to bite his eye out. Nice one. However, this pisses Gorr off, so he craters young Thor into the ground. The Necro Sword itself is just mental. When he's fighting the Avenger Thor, it says how the blades break off and burrow into his flesh, eating him from the inside out. It can match Avenger Thor's Mjolnir hits. This is a fucking strong Thor with Mjolnir, people, and Gorr and his sword easily overpower him. He's also basically broken All-Father King Thor, with the Destroyer arm no less, and made him want to die. Not only has he slayed thousands of gods, they're not all super tough, but still, enslaved more, including tough fuckers like Volstagg, but he's taking down 3 Thors single-handedly. It couldn't stop him making and setting off his bomb. He's too powerful. He basically becomes a god himself. And then more recently, King Thor claims to be a force of nature. Not only with the power he's wielding, but also the way his Necro Sword can create these sentient beasts that he commands. And recreating his dead wife and child, becoming the thing you're hunting. Classic trope. But don't call him God, pretend wifey. I'll leave you to read the run if you want to see exactly how it ends, but there is a reason Gorr deserves more respect. Because the film version, well, it wasn't quite the same. He's definitely tough in Thor Love and Thunder. Early on, after showing some teleporting ability, he smashes Thor across the ground easily. This after he's created a load of berserkers with his Necro Sword. He can take a hit from Stormbreaker and it doesn't bother him too much. Not sure if that's just movie inconsistency rather than his toughness though, this being the axe that takes down Thanos. He then takes Thor down properly with some strength and those dastardly tendrils. We don't see much of him for a while, until the 2 Thors and Valkyrie come to the Shadow Realm. This place enhances his powers a bit, and we see him dodging Mjolnir easily, and grabs the Thors with a flick of the wrist. We're seeing a bit of the nasty side of him here, with him killing Valkyrie and Mighty Thor in front of Thor. And earlier with the kidnapping and scaring of the kids who are all terrible actors, but it's not quite torturing and enslaving gods. That's not going to make good box office fodder. Also on the Shadow Realm, his beasties have had a major upgrade. We then have Gorr going toe to toe with the hero team, and he's matching them all. I do wish the sword was more of a symbiote like the comics than a proper old school sword here. But Gorr's blocking hits from Mjolnir, he's taking hits from Stormbreaker, blocking Zeus's lightning bolt, and he's even getting stabbed by it, but he's fine with that, teleporting and stabbing Valkyrie back. Taking a lightning blast easily, and ultimately he manages to get what he wants, which is Stormbreaker to see eternity, which is his way of killing all the gods rather than a god bomb. He then kicks the shit out of Thor pretty comprehensively in the final fight. This dude took a hit from a star that one time. And he can only just stop Gorr from stabbing him while he's on the floor until he's saved by old friend Mjolnir. And when James joins the fight, he literally deflects Mjolnir like it's nothing. Nada. Unfortunately now, in this final battle though, Gorr does struggle to take on two gods. Is Jane a god? Unlike how Gorr smashes the three Thors in the comic. And I much prefer the ending in the comics to this one, but hey look, this is Hollywood, man, what do you expect? So yeah, Gorr is pretty tough in the movies. He takes on those three heavy hitters consistently, but he's a fraction of what he was in the comics. Major nerf, deserves more respect. Thanks for watching this one. Thanks to Respect Threads for Gorr info. Check out our other videos, and if you like this, then literally like it and smash subscribe if you loved it. I'm Danny Baker, this is 6 Degrees, and I'll see you later.